This question goes to all the candidates up here, and at this time I'm going to start from my right, coming this way, because we want a chance, to hear these folks. All right. So the first question, actually, the question would be: 691 votes separate the Republicans into a third party in Broward. What are you going to do to dramatically increase registered Republican voters?
That's why I joined the Southwest Broward Republican Club, to help Jay and the others get more registration in our community. And that's why I'm running for Breck, to help out in this situation.
All right.
All right, Sheila.
Okay, so when I used to work for the Republican Party of Florida, this is one thing that was our quota in order to get paid. You had to do voter registrations every week. And one thing that we used to do, because you want to recruit Republicans a lot of the times, is we went up to the churches, the Christian bookstores, the rodeos here in Broward County. And what I would love to do is to branch out a little bit more for voter registration. It does start, as Mayor Truex mentioned, education. A big portion of it needs to be us going out into the public and letting people know that it's okay to be a Republican, that we put out our principles, and that has to be a big part of registering the Republican voters throughout the county. It's getting us out there, and then by doing so, we hit up the local high schools. We educate the local high schools. We hit up the college campuses. And being president of the College Republican Club back at Nova, I can tell you there wasn't too many voter registration drives, and there was very few Republicans on campus fighting for those principles. So, not to be afraid to go out into the communities.
Well, first thing I'd like to do is, once again, I'd like to send those letters out to every new registered Republican. Let them know where the clubs are. Let them know what Breck is about. Our clubs, we can have huge clubs. Just sending out letters to all the super voters and getting people in. And we've done this with other clubs. You'll get 5 or 6 or 7 members. They have friends. Everybody talks about what candidate, what new legislation. All this helps to get Republicans voted into office. It's very important that we recruit Breck members to work the precincts. We must work our precincts. Let me tell you how many people, everybody knew Alan West. Well, that isn't true. Do you know how many phone calls we made? Alan who? What's he running for? We've got to make those phone calls. This all goes into getting information out about the Republican Party. It's very important. News advertisements. I'm out of time, sorry.
I'm going to have to agree with Sheila and say that we definitely need to reach out to the churches and have them work the communities. I think that's foremost. Also, like she said about the high schools, it's important that we start recruiting from our junior year in high school. It's so important that the young people are educated and informed so that they, when they become our next voters, will be informed as to how to move. The other group that we started with the Scott Carroll campaign was the Ex-Offender Coalition. We're missing out on a lot of votes with the ex-offenders. And I think that if we start working on that restoration program, I think that that will also assist us with a big number of those votes that we're missing. Thank you.
Okay, well, long term, for sure, the answer is education. When my oldest daughter was in high school, they had a Republican club in her high school. I think they call it the Republican Student Union. But those students graduated and they went away. Now, if you're a member of Breck, you probably know there's a young man, a high school student, that comes to most of our Breck meetings. He's not a member of Breck because he's not old enough to be registered. But he is in high school. I know in talking to him, and he'd be an individual that would be interested in starting a Republican club in his high school. But here's a problem. As in electing local candidates, if somebody wants to start a club in their high school, they're left to reinvent the wheel every time. As Breck, we need to have a template for what is required to start a Republican club in a local public high school. A lot of kids don't know, even adults don't know, you can have a Republican club in a public high school. You need to have a sponsor. You need to, there are certain things you need to do, but once you check off those boxes, you can have a club, and we need to provide that template to do it.
I received an email the other day, and this question was pretty much the same way it was addressed to me. And I told the individual, the Democrats outnumber us in Broward County, but if you add Republicans and independents, we outnumber the Democrats. There are a lot of independents who would love our message if we take it to them. And I want to be a chairman who's bigger than life. I want you to listen, the Democrats don't know that Mitch Caesar is their chairman, and a lot of the Republicans don't know that Cindy Guerrero is their chairman. I want everyone to know who I am. That's why I wore that cowboy hat in here, just to let you know that the next time you see me, you'll say, where's your cowboy hat? There are ways that we can go out and get these individuals and bring them and show them what our message is and let them know that we're Republicans. It's not a dirty word.
Gene, my answer to your cowboy hat is a winning smile. Essentially, again, I'm going to talk about perpetual outreach to the electorate. You got to keep doing that constantly and often. And for that, now is when the fundraising part comes in. And what you do is you create an action team, a strategic action team for fundraising. And the job of that team is to consistently, not just on Reagan Day or Lincoln Day, they should have monthly targets. You bring in finance directors from gubernatorial campaigns, from congressional campaigns, successful senatorial campaigns. Bring these people in. They have already done this. Have them lead those teams, bring in the money, and use that money for perpetual outreach via news media, via television media, via print media. All those different outreach efforts need to take place for us to increase our numbers, and it's doable, folks. It's very easy. We have done this when we were campaigning for Chris Lady. We were knocking on doors, and there were some Ds who wanted to vote for him. And the reason for that is one-on-one contact. They knew we came there, we talked to them, they wanted to hear from us, they wanted to know the guy, and that's what's going to help us. Thank you.
This is the stat that I've been worried about, and why I put it right in my platform that we need a registration committee. We need to go out to gun shows, churches, rodeos. We need to hit up the youth in schools and colleges. We do need to have voter registration drives, outreach to all ethnic groups. At every meeting of the Hollywood Club, we have voter registration forms. There's someone in this audience right here today that I know I personally helped register as a Republican that went to the Hollywood Club. At every BREC meeting, there are guests. A lot of them are not registered Republicans. We need to bring this up at the BREC meeting, that we can have forms for them to register as Republicans. At every Tea Party event, there are plenty of registered Democrats and independents that I think that we can convert to Republicans. So we need to get out there, have a registration committee that is focused on this so that we do not become the third party in Broward County. We need to focus on this and work hard at it to get our message out and register plenty of new Republicans. Thank you.
Thank you.